Hey, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here for this new moon circle. I think we've got everyone in that we're going to have in. I'm so shiny today. I don't want to be interrupted by other people joining in. And so I didn't mention this in the event space, but I will next time that we'll open the doors a little bit early and then we'll give about 5 minutes for people to get in so that once we get started, we don't get interrupted. Since this first event is an event that is open to everyone, normally these are more closed groups. It's normally a paid circle. So we have a smaller number of people that will join. It tends to be more like membership people, close people. And so because this is open and will be available for everyone, I will make sure that I'll edit the video so that everybody who's in the room isn't shown, and I'll clip out the parts where people are talking about their own experience. So any sharing that you want to do, I want you to feel comfortable that that's just going to stay here within the room, within this space. And so in the future, we won't worry about it. But for this one, I will edit that stuff out. So if you feel like connecting, I want you to feel free to connect and share as much as you want to. I'm going to show, maybe I'm going to show, let me see if I can share my screen. Da-da-da. Okay, good. So I have my altar set up to have a little focal point for us. And so I'm going to scooch this a little bit here. There we go. Not better. All right, I'll fix it when I move the card there. So this is an altar if you are doing a circle for yourself, whether it's new moon, full moon, any time. I like to have a little altar set up with things that indicate and show each of the elements. So I like to have each of the elements kind of present. Maybe it's not my way. I like to have all the elements present whenever I'm kind of connecting to spirit. And so on your screen, it looks backwards than what it is on my screen. But this, I'll lean over and show this here is my north. And so north is our earth energy. And so I have a labradorite crystal that's there. You can use any kind of crystal, anything that helps you to connect to the earth and its energy. And then if you go around clockwise, here is east for me. So you can't see my thing. So this is east here. There you go. So east is air energy. And so I have an incense burning there. This is also serving as kind of a cleansing for our space. This is a white sage incense. So it's helping to just cleanse and purify our space. This is a little backflow incense. So if you can see around the edges, it looks much cooler in person, but you can see the smoke kind of going down into the bowl there. Then south here is, this is our fire energy. And so you can use a candle. I have a red candle here. Red represents fire energy. Again, anything that you have that represents for you, that fiery action energy, put it in the south. And then here, up here is west. This is the water. So I have a little chalice there with some water in it. And that's, having water is the easiest way, but you also could use like a shell or anything that helps you to think about the sea or the ocean, things like that. Okay. And it's just a nice way, again, to be really intentional about the work that you're doing and knowing that you are setting aside time for yourself and time to just connect within. This is your kind of sacred space time when you're doing it for yourself or here in the group. And so I'm going to keep this screen up just so you always can kind of take a look and focus on this. You know what I look like. You don't need to look at me the whole time. And so, yeah, so I mentioned that our incense here is also helping to cleanse our space. So if you're doing this for yourself in the future, I would have some kind of incense or Palo Santo sticks. I really like to use something to help you cleanse the air. Again, it also tells your senses that, this is the time, this is sacred time, sacred space for me. So it helps you to just really get grounded. All right. So, okay. So I'm not going to let anyone else in at this point. So we'll stop letting folks in so that we don't have any interruptions. And what I want you to do is just get really comfortable. Okay. So sit in your seat really comfortably as best you can. Move around and get into a spot that feels good. If you can have your feet on the floor, great. If you have, if you're sitting on the floor, just really get centered and grounded. And I like to start with a little meditation. Okay. So if you feel okay closing your eyes, I'd close my eyes or lower your gaze if that feels better. And we're going to just do a little tree meditation. All right. So just relax. Again, sit really comfortably, best you can in your seat, relax. Let's take a couple of nice deep breaths. So inhale really big, hold it, and exhale out. Okay, let's do that again. Take a nice big inhale, hold it, and exhale out big. Okay, we'll do that one last time. Inhale in, hold, and big exhale. And as we keep our eyes closed, I want you to imagine that you are sitting next to a huge oak tree, sitting right on the ground. You can feel the roots right underneath your bottom. And as you lean back against this tree, you can feel its connection to the earth. You can feel the age and strength of this tree. You can feel how sturdy and stable it is. And as you continue to lean back, I want you to imagine that you are melding together with this tree. Feel your body just melt right into it. You start to become one as if you were this tree. And as you feel into this, you can feel your roots growing right from your own body down into the ground, down, down, deeper and deeper. You can feel these roots traveling through the earth, connecting to the cool energy. As they keep growing and stretching, these roots are bringing up nutrients to you. They're bringing up this beautiful Mother Earth energy. And they begin to connect to other roots from other trees. These are the roots of other people here in the circle, other people that are around you, other people who you want to connect with. You start to feel your roots intertwining and connecting to one another. Your energy is being shared back and forth. You can feel the support and the stability. We're going to hang on to this feeling and this energy throughout our time together. So let's breathe this in, breathe in all this beautiful, loving energy. Have a nice big exhale. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back into the room. Good. How'd that feel? It's nice to be able to connect and feel strength from other sources, right? Okay, so I want to get started with talking about what's happening now. So we're at the new moon. What's the new moon all about? So the new moon is the time where in the sky, the sun and the moon are together. So there's no reflection. That's the full moon when you get the reflection of the sun off of the moon. When they're together, it's the dark sky, right? It's also new moons are also known as the dark moon. And this is a time of setting intentions, right? So when you're in the still of the night in the quiet space, you're not shining brightly and things aren't at their peak like they are at the full moon. The new moons are that time of quiet reflection and preparation for what's to come. So that's what new moon energy is all about. That's why I like to do new moon circles versus full moon circles, because it's an opportunity for you to set intentions. And that's what we're going to do today. So, what are we setting intentions around? Well, we look at where the moon is, which astrological sign it's in, and we are in the sign of Gemini. So, are there any Geminis in the room? Good. Yeah. So there's one, only one. Okay. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for sharing your energy with us. So, Gemini energy is all about communication, right? It's all about not just communicating verbally, right? Not just speaking, but it's really also about listening. Okay. So, Gemini energy likes to connect. It's an air sign, right? So air is all about communication and that beautiful flowing energy of receiving and projecting back and forth, two-way conversations, two-way energy, that flowing, beautiful cycle. And so when you think about communication, again, I mentioned, yes, verbalizing, but starting with listening, right? So think about, as we prepare to set some intentions, think about the ways in which you listen to others, right? If you are asking questions of people, are you really listening for those answers, right? Are you listening for opportunities to respond? Or are you listening because you really want to hear and take in what people are sharing with you, right? This is a time where you want to be really intentional about growing that skill. Sorry, my dog always wants to chime in. Growing that skill of taking in energy, receiving what people are sharing with you, right? And so when you think about also communicating, how are you verbalizing? How are you projecting forward what you have going on, right? I will say that I'm not always great in sharing what I have happening in my life, especially if it's not great, because for me, I have a lot of water energy. I have a lot of planets in Cancer and in other water signs. And so for me, I'm concerned about people's emotions. I'm concerned about helping people and nurturing people. And so I sometimes will tell myself that, I don't want to burden people with what's going on, right? Anybody else have that experience? And again, I get it, but this is a time to intentionally change that, right? So the people that are around you, the people that care about you and love you, they want to hear the good and bad, right? So another thing you can think about is sharing yourself and communicating your needs, verbalizing your needs with the people that are around you. Now, this also works, when it comes to your actual career in the workplace. Are you communicating effectively what you need and what you want while you're at work, right? So start thinking about some of those things before we start to put some pen to paper. So we've got listening, we've got verbalizing, communicating in that way. But what other ways can we communicate? Can we express ourselves? So, any artist in the room? So, even if you don't classify yourself as an artist, even if it's not a hobby for you, think about ways that you could draw or paint or write. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about writing. But think about when you've been to an art gallery or a museum, or you've seen a mural, or you've seen artwork. Think about how much expression goes into those works of art, right? Those artists were sharing, communicating their gifts, their emotions, what's going on in their life. They were sharing those things with the rest of the world by putting, a brush to canvas, by putting pen to paper or typing out, a book and sharing themselves. And so think about ways, even if you, especially if you are a more introverted person, maybe you want to express yourself for yourself. Maybe you want to just draw a picture, paint a painting. It doesn't have to be, you know, good, quote unquote, good. You don't have to judge it. It's a way to express yourself. It's a way to get out what you're feeling, what you're thinking, because this Gemini energy, this air energy is all about, the thoughts that we have, right? The way that we are creating and our creative energies coming through. So, again, keep this in mind as you're thinking about opportunities to be creative and to create things. Okay. Another thing to think about is your social skills, right? So this is a perfect time in this Gemini season. This is a perfect time to be more social, to connect with more people, um, and finding yourself being a little more vulnerable if you're not an extroverted person, getting out of the house a little bit more, experiencing the energy of other people is going to be really important. And if we're setting intentions, we need to find ways to be more intentional about connecting with other people's energy. Now, sometimes, most of the time that it's actually talking to people, connecting with people, but being around other people, being around their energy is also really important and valid. Okay. So don't restrict yourself on social skills, what that can look like. Now, I will say that Gemini energy, Geminis are sometimes seen as kind of flighty, as kind of all over the place, right? Their thoughts, the way that they communicate, their energies can kind of, go from one thing to the next pretty rapidly. They do tend to process things a little bit faster, right? So they might get bored a little more easily and want to move on to the next thing. They often are associated with, and not so that's, not always the case, but often associated with kind of surface level, superficial, if you will, levels of communications where it's not going really deep. It's just getting more information, having conversations, moving to the next conversation, meeting a person, and just knowing, again, surface level information, not going any deeper. And so even though that is can sometimes be seen as Gemini energy, you don't have to embody that portion, because really healthy Gemini energy is willing to go deeper, right? It is willing to learn and connect and grow a little bit more with people. And so think about social skills in that way, that yes, you might be able to say go networking and meet 50 people, but what if you were around those 50 people, but you chose two or three to go a little bit deeper with, right? To not just ask, oh, what do you do for a living? Or how did you find yourself here? But to get a little bit deeper, right? Think about all of the things that you can learn and grow together with other people if you're willing to do that. Okay. So those are the things that I want you to think about as we prepare to set some intentions for the next few weeks. Okay. So I want you to think about, again, making a plan for making some meaningful changes. What would be meaningful for you if you're thinking about changing the ways that you're communicating, the ways that you're listening and speaking to people, the ways that you are connecting and socializing with people? Think about ways that you can grow those skills. Again, not forever, not huge, just a few immediate, again, in the next few weeks as we're growing into the full moon. Ideally, once we get to the full moon, we will see some progress and you can say, oh, wow, I've been able to do X, Y, and Z in these last few weeks. Okay. So, what I want to do is I'm going to set a little timer. I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to set, oh, no, actually, before that, this is what I want to do. I know I was forgetting something. So we are going to do that. I am going to set a timer. If you don't currently have a something to write with and a piece of paper, go ahead and grab that. Now, I'm actually going to shuffle the cards and I'm going to pull a card for us to help to connect, help put a little more meat on if we need it to our intentions. So grab your pen and paper and I will show you what the universe would like for us to see to help us connect. Okay. All right. I'm going to put this over here on the screen. All right. So if I think that you can click this image if you want to make it a little bit bigger on this side of the screen so that you can zoom that up a little bit. I don't know why it seems so bright over there. But yes, okay. So let's take a look at this quickly. So the Seven of Pentacles, doesn't this just feel like a beautiful, nurturing card? So the Pentacles suit of Pentacles is about earth energy. So it is about being grounded and connected. And so, maybe our focus is more on what's happening at home. It can also be because it's also kind of the suit of money. It may also be around your career. But think about the thing that jumps out at me first is really the trees in this pot, right? And so trees represent air energy. And those crystals that are sitting inside the pot, those are kind of serve as amplifiers, right? Amplifying the energy of our tree, of our air, of our communication, amplifying that out into the world. And so, as we're setting intentions, what are some things that could be an amplifier for you, right? What are some ways that you can see her pouring some water into this plant, pouring herself into this energy of the plant and of these crystals. And again, she's being really intentional. And what are some ways that you can really pour into yourself, pour into the ways that you're communicating very intentionally? And what are some amplifiers, right? Those little crystals. What are some ways that you can amplify the ways in which you're doing this? Again, speaking, listening, socializing. Okay. Does that make sense for everyone? Okay. So I am going to now set a little timer. I'm going to give us 5 minutes. And You're welcome to keep writing after we're talking, or you can continue after we're finished. But I just want to give us 5 minutes of kind of quiet time. And I want you to really think about a few ways that you would like to grow, the ways in which you communicate and socialize with people. And think about this again in terms of these next few weeks, right? So this isn't forever, that one day, I want to be a broadcast journalist, right? This is, in these next 2 weeks, what would I like to change? What are some things I might like to try? Some things I might like to stop doing, right? So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I'm going to mute myself. Otherwise, I'll just keep talking. And then when we come back, I will ask you guys if anybody would like to share. And again, I'll edit this out of the video. And so, yes, let me give you 5 minutes starting now. And I'm going to mute. Okay, we've got 2 minutes left. Okay, well, let's start coming back into the space, finishing up what we're writing right now. And as we do, I would love it if anybody would feel comfortable in sharing anything they wrote. I know I had some good insights about both, communicating, finding opportunities to put my voice more out into the world in these next few weeks, but also to really nurture my own writing and not for the purposes of it being a task that I have to do for my business, but really nurturing it as an opportunity to express myself, even if it doesn't get shared out. So if anyone would like to share, again, I will cut this portion out so that nobody's on screen. So who would like to share? I want to take all this beautiful energy and I want us to think about, again, if you didn't put, maybe you did, but if you didn't put some timelines on it, right? It's really easy for us to say that we're going to do these things, right? Say that I'm going to try to do this more, I'm going to try to do that more. But if we don't put an actual, like, tomorrow, I'm going to do this, right? Monday, I'm going to do this, then it can kind of fall by the wayside. So I want you to, just while we're in this space, just look down and kind of write down, when can you start doing this? When can you spend a few minutes working on these tasks, right? So that when we leave here again, we have like a little plan of action on how to move forward. We're giving ourselves a little bit of accountability. Okay. And as you do that, what I'm going to do, so we're almost finished. So, what I want to do is I'm going to shuffle some oracle cards here. And I'm going to pull the oracle card and I'm going to read the message from the oracle cards. And I want you to just listen to this message and take from it what you will about, again, how do I take what I've been writing about, my intentions in this new moon. This message of the oracle will just be an added little layer that can hopefully support you in moving these intentions forward. I'm going to put it over here where this card is. I will post a picture of this as well in the membership group. So if you are not a member, you should be. Come on over. It's free. And there's lots of resources that are coming that I'll be adding continuously. And so you'll be able to see this video and then every other video that we do for new moons, all of those information. There's monthly focuses and some journaling sheets that everyone will see and that you'll see in there, especially for this month, because it's a new membership. So everything right now is free in the group. There will be a paid version moving forward after this month, but you still have access to lots of free resources in there as well. So you can go right to my website, and that is This Is What's Next, all one word, thisiswhat'snext.com. And you can click on the community tab and it show you membership information on how to log in or how to get signed up right there. So let's see, this is 20. All right. Okay. So I'm going to read you what this says. So you can just listen to this description. Healing the Heart is the name of the card. And this is from Oracle of the Seven Energies Oracle deck. So, healing the heart. The key concepts here are healing, making amends, the willingness to release past pain, being responsible and accountable, taking time to get healthy, renewal, and rebirth after suffering. So, if any of you, especially, are thinking about ways to communicate, there may be some need to be more intentional about the ways you communicate after some traumas, after some healing has been happening. So especially for you all, if you have that happening right now, this is a message extra special for you. Okay. When you are wounded emotionally, you need time to regroup and find your center. You may have recently endured a breakup or betrayal, lost someone close to you, or lost an affiliation that you gave too much power to. Perhaps you're watching someone go through a difficult time and feel bad that you can't help them. Maybe you're still not over a past disagreement. No matter the cause of this heartache, deep healing is called for. This happens on its own timetable and can never be rushed. The path to healing the heart centers on reciprocity, the flow of giving and receiving. Sometimes wounding occurs because we've become too dependent on one another, and this is accompanied by the desire to manipulate or control an outcome. Both wounding and healing usually begin within, not from the outer conditions of our lives. We often believe we can be wounded only by others, but we do more damage to ourselves in the self sabotaging way we think and behave. It is important to take steps to heal yourself and become willing to release the pain of the past, which can be tempting to revisit. It's time to take responsibility for your part in this healing journey. Look for ways you can help yourself and others. Are you willing to make amends if needed? Or conversely, accept someone where they are without trying to influence their growth process? Healing the heart in all aspects is your priority now. Nothing else matters. Only beauty and goodness will come as the result. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that definitely hits me in a few different spots. How do you all feel about that? Mm-hmm. So I want you to take that message along with the intentions that you've set for yourself. Think about the things that we've talked about, anything that was shared here in the group, people shared so that we could learn from one another. And so, again, that's another benefit of this Gemini energy is learning from others as well. So really take all of these pieces with you as you go. I want to do one final meditation to close out the circle. And so if you can, again, sit comfortably, close your eyes or lower your gaze, and let's go back to sitting next to this beautiful oak tree, becoming one. You became one with this tree. You can see these roots that were grown deep into the earth that are intertwined with the other roots of people here in the circle and those closest to you. And now I want you to start untangling yourself from these other roots. Bring along the energy that was shared and allow it to be drawn up into yourself as your roots come back in, getting more and more concentrated as these roots come up and this energy fills your body. You can feel the love and support from everyone that you were connected to. You can feel the love and support of the earth itself and of this beautiful oak tree. And as all of this energy is brought back into your body, you're going to take it with you when you leave here and use it to continue to grow into your best self. So let's take a nice big inhale and hold at the top and exhale out. When you're ready, open your eyes and come back into the space. And that is it. I'm going to close the circle. We will put our candle out. And again, I want to thank you for being here, sharing yourself, sharing your energy with the group. If there's any way that I can support you, again, check out the website, thisiswhatsnext.com. You can join the free membership. You can book any type of session with me. I do advising and astro self-care. I have a new book that's coming out that's on pre-order right now, so you can check that out. That's all about connecting to your energy. So if you're interested in any of that kind of support, it's right there. I hope to see you in the membership soon. I hope to um, I hope that we stay connected, and hopefully you'll come to the next new moon circle next month. And that's it. Happy Pride, y'all. Thanks for being here.